With any luck, we are live on the internets.
Hi.
Welcome, everybody. We are here to talk about OAX, everything OAX. We have up to 2 hours to fill your brains with details and lovely anecdotes and backside stories and arguments and what have you. But the good news is we get to start off today with Tatiana from TD Art, who's here to talk about the good news that she will be at OAX, and with any luck, Tatiana will say today 2 artists for sure, and if we're lucky, we'll get a third one too. Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. We'll get there. Just been working through folks, so we'll get there for sure.
So, well, we're waiting on one of the artists who hopefully can join us tonight. Do you want to start with the gentleman who couldn't make it tonight?
Sure, yeah. So far we have 2 artists for sure who are coming to OA Expo, and one of them is Ryan Otagawa. He's really excited to go, and he's sorry that he couldn't make it today. He had a pre-planned family trip, so he can't come, but he's really excited to do the show and see the fans and take some commissions, and yeah, it'll be really fun. And hello to everybody in the chat. Nice to see a lot of familiar names.
There you go. They already want us to wear stuff. They're just so strange. Oh, there. We have a guest coming. All right. So Ryan is definitely coming. That is phenomenal. And we also have another guest. And hopefully, I don't know if she can hear us or not when she's in backstage, but I think she can because I'm all new to this StreamYard strangeness. But I see a good sign. So let's bring this phenomenal artist in to join us. Look at that.
Hi guys.
Yay, you made it.
Yes.
I'm waiting. Okay. Thank you, Sonia. You're joining us from the Great White North? Is that what it's still called, or can we not call that anymore?
You can absolutely still call it that. There's definitely a lot of white snow that does still happen here.
Yeah, November 12th. It's 87 in Orlando. Thank you very much for today, of course, joining us, but most especially for coming down for the inaugural OAX. You are very beloved at comic art fans. We'll put it that way.
That's so kind.
It's yeah. I think we would be silly not to. I mean, I meant to ask you something right off the top. I mean, I saw a cover of yours. I'm trying to remember the title of the book, but I was pretty certain it was Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
Where you did like an image of a woman basically coming out of foliage, right?
Oh, go ahead.
Is that that's yours, right? I hope I'm not messing that up.
Yeah, it's funny. There is one Assassin's Creed that's, I think, mislabeled, and something behind the scenes got mislabeled with that one. But funnily enough, just this year I did something with a little bit of a similar vibe for another comic called Dead Romans. So regardless, if you look for a cover with a woman coming out of foliage, it is out there, and there is one that is me. It's not Assassin's Creed, but similar era for sure.
Yeah, and it reminded me of the Lord of the Flies portrait painting by Baron Story. That's why I wanted to ask you about it. That would be a deep cut if you went to sort of classic old illustration. But in any case, you're familiar, I hope, with OAX. It's going to be completely collector and art focused and creator focused, and hopefully you will be treated very sort of respectfully for the craft and the talent and what you've developed over the years, and you'll be honored there by collectors, hopefully from all over the world. But I know, Tatiana, I'll let you take over here. I don't want to presume anything, but but Sonia, you can talk about, like, I don't know if you have any ideas of what you're going to bring with you, or what kind of art, or what you have sort of maybe in your itoyas that you'd be willing to let us see and share, and maybe purchase from you. But that would be great to find out.
Absolutely. Well, Tatiana's got a ton of my collection to begin with, and she's always been the great like Maeve of managing these things. And so we have a lot of like great covers and pieces I've done in the past. But beyond that, there's always like sort of the new covers that are coming in. Some of the work I've done recently for Oni Press, and some of my nonfiction stuff that's going to be coming with me. But I think also the thing I also always love to work with Tatiana on is the commissions, because that's, I think, where all of our love kind of really comes together, because, you know, so often, you know, she's a fan of one of these fandoms, or I'm a fan of one of these fandoms. I think we first connected on a commission of some fandoms we had in common. So I think a little bit of all of that is going to be coming down from the Great White North.
You're Toronto? Are you Toronto?
Toronto, or close enough anyway.
Yeah. What, Mississauga, or?
Even a little deeper than that, Burlington, way out in the suburbs, where an artist can still make it somehow.
Yeah, I spent a little time in Toronto, and what I remember most about it is really good comic book shops and unbelievably diverse food. Really, really
yeah.
good food. Yeah, cheap eat food too. Okay.
It's great, and some of, honestly, as you say, like all over the world. If there's some weird minutia cuisine that you're into, you can find it here, and probably not that far away.
Yeah, the first thing that we went to when I was there was we went and had Hungarian food, and I had never had Hungarian food. But yeah, exactly. Okay. Well,
so yeah, we're really excited about the commissions. We'll be working with Bill and Kasra behind the scenes, and they will put an announcement out for when we will start taking pre-books. So that'll be really soon. Really excited to see what people come up with. There's always some good ones. I'll tell you, I just was looking at the mystery sketch list. Bill sent over the final list today, and there's some really good ones on that too. So always love seeing what people ask for.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, your Dazzler one, we used it in a lot of the newsletters to promote the mystery sketch. That one was very special. But Sonia, from what I understand, you know, you work in comics. You work with, you know, many publishers. You'd like to keep a foot, if not squarely, then deeply into independent work and in your own sort of personal work. And you do, I mean, you're a professional sort of for hire illustrator as well.
Yes.
Give us just a snapshot, you know, this week, this month, last month, where are you at right now, and what you're working on, and whether, I don't know, there's something in the horizon, or something that you have an ambition to do here in the near term.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a busy couple months. I always have a lot of work I have to tackle, as Tatiana knows, going into NYCC. So that is always a really tight period for me, with a lot of commissions and just even private illustrations to get done. So now I'm breathing and catching up a little bit on the publisher work. So even, I don't know if you can see just behind me over here, I've got a piece for a murder series with Oni Press called Jill in the Box. So I'm just knocking out a couple of those. And the other thing that I'm doing right now that I'm super excited about is a nonfiction piece with Business Insider. So I'm working on a piece sort of illustrating the testimonials of several Afghani soldiers, female Afghani soldiers, and their experience when there was the Kabul airlift and all of that. So that's really new for me. That's really different, just in that nonfiction wheelhouse and like honoring that. So as you say, I've always got something going on in a lot of different directions. I've got murder mysteries on one side and the nonfiction on the other. So that is fun. But the thing I think I'm the most excited about, which is just really my own, quite literally in my basement endeavor, is I've taken on silk screen printing for the first time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just taking my own illustrations, blowing them out to like huge posters, mixing like every color of ink by hand, every frame by hand, and just making something very, very personal. I've always been super passionate about color and line work, and I feel like silk screens are such an amazing way to like take that to the next level. So I'm super stoked about that. It's keeping me really busy these days. Hopefully you'll see more of those popping around. Maybe I'll bring some to the show if there's an interest for it.
Oh no, please do. Yeah, please do. The silk screen, how have you found the color mixing? Is that something that you feel like you have almost like an immediate grasp on for getting sort of nuances or the sort of color that you want?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's so much its own world, you know. You can't necessarily create an airbrushed finish. You can a bit, but you can't quite create an brushed finish with if you want to reflect traditional comic work. But on the other hand, when you have that sort of Mike Mignola kind of style that's very blocky, you can bring colors to it in this very pure way. So it's so exciting to, like, you know, open a jar of one of these colors and just see the most evocative pink that you'll never get off of, you know, a traditional laser or inkjet printer. And I had the interesting experience of when I was at New York, I brought some just to test it out. Let's see how fans react to it. It was about, you know, a couple feet behind me. All my regular work was near the front. Obviously you have tons of people interested in originals, interested in the digitals, but people did have this immediate connection with that matte color that has no sheen because it's real paint. So that was really cool. I'm super into it, and I'm just excited to bring it along.
You know, a lot of artists that I know, when they get into the print world, I'll just call it the print realm, right? There's something intoxicating about it. I've seen a lot of them almost lose themselves in a very, to me, almost in an odd way, where they're so like obsessed with it. They're so giddy about it. It's almost like they're happy to even just push aside, let's just call it traditional work or the traditional ways in which they've composed images, and they throw themselves into print. And it seems like it's very nuanced and endlessly rewarding.
It is.
Printmaking. Yeah. Huh.
And I just want to also highlight for any of you who don't know, Sonia is one of those multifaceted kind of special talents, and we don't see a lot of artists like this. So she can pencil, ink, paint, you know, so she can do all the art, and she's also a writer. So definitely, I would say, you know, beyond just, obviously she's done her own personal projects, but she's done some writing for DC as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just so excited to have, you know, I've known Sonia for about 10 years and 10 or 11 years. It's been a while. Wow.
It's been a while now.
Yeah. And just watching you grow and really makes me smile how many people recognize you and love your work now, and seeing that over time. So I just wanted to recognize that. And I have no doubt your silk screen is going to be amazing because you really have that eye for color.
Thank you. I so appreciate that, Tatiana. And you're always such an amazing support in that process. You know, it's that's the great thing about this world and this industry, right? There's the freedom to put on another hat. And people get excited for it. And when I come out to shows and connect with fans at like every level, people are just excited to be like, okay, well, you're trying this. I want to see you try this. I want to see what you're going to do with it. So that's so rewarding here, and you don't find that really anywhere else.
So Kasra, I have a question for you. Since we're talking about the show, what sort of weather should people be expecting in Orlando in late January?
Well, from what I can remember, it's 70 degrees, occasional showers early afternoon that don't last very long, and unfairly pleasant. So if you have like a thin little zip up, if you haven't slept enough, or probably a lot of these guys with the open bar, if you haven't taken care of your body, and you're kind of just cold the next day, you might want a little zip up. But otherwise, you'd be doing well with just, like a long sleeve t-shirt and some jeans and some walking shoes. And I think that cover a lot of it. Yeah. Now, I will put together prior to OAX, that we want it to be, we want, couples to come. We want families to come ideally. So I'm going to put together a map of places to visit, beyond Universal and Disney or SeaWorld. I'm going to put together a map of places, adults and children, and adults like children with their children, and everything in between that where they can go to. And I'll also have food and drink map as well. So everyone will be pretty well orientated that way. And hold me to that. If I don't get it done in time, I need to get that done. You know how it is, Tatiana.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, people really appreciate that because it's a vacation destination, and so you absolutely want people to do that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So even people in the chat are saying, maybe 50s or 60s. That's t-shirt weather for me.
Yeah.
So we are completely covered in snow here. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Josh is saying it's cold, and he lives in Chicago. I don't know what he's talking about. But it could go down a little bit lower.
Yeah.
I've been here for 2 Januaries, and it has been in the mid and upper 70s, and I think it has gone into the 50s, especially at night.
So layers. Bring
probably layers. Yeah, and then I'll definitely add that to the sort of Orlando orientation sort of package, and I'll look at a farmer's almanac. I'll include something so that there's an idea of what it will be like. But that's why we wanted the reception on Friday night outdoors. We thought, it's going to be very, very nice to a lot of people, certainly, but even locals, it's very pleasant. Yeah.
Good. Well, we're looking forward to it. I was just curious what to expect, but I knew it would be nice. I'm going to actually be in Orlando in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I figure it'll probably be just a little bit colder than end of November.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously, if you have time, please let Bill and I know. Yeah. I don't want to keep you from what you're doing, but if we can meet up with you.
I will let you know. I'm going to be down there for my friend's son's Make-A-Wish trip.
Oh, that's great.
So he wanted me to go with him, which is really special.
Well, you let them know that regardless of what Marcus thinks, because he thinks Seattle is incredibly dangerous, but he's worried about Orlando as well. He brings this up quite a bit. It's incredibly safe here. Like, it doesn't even make sense. It's like they built a wall around Orlando and they keep Florida out. So Marcus, don't you worry. Yeah.
Is it the Austin of Florida?
Yeah, but Austin isn't even the Austin of Texas anymore. I think Austin's changing pretty fast.
It has.
Yeah.
Marcus, it's all about safety is all about your attitude. I have gotten lost in really bad areas before, like in LA, and
well, Marcus is
kind of like where you are and you know what you're doing, and people won't mess with you.
He's becoming a shut-in, but we're trying to intervene, so it's okay. He should be suspect of Orlando. It's in Florida. So I totally get it. Okay. Listen, guys, I'm sorry. Believe it or not, there's a schedule, and I've never done this before. So I'm like, oh, I'll keep to a schedule. So, Sonia, thank you very much for coming on today. And of course, coming to OAX. Tatiana, you're amazing. And I will hear from you, I'm sure, in this coming week, so we can add to the TDR crew. And then whenever you're ready, Sonia, we have a Thursday night show. If you can come on for 5 minutes, 10 minutes with the pre-OAX commission, show some examples, that'd be great. Tatiana can come on as well, or one or both of you. But as soon as you got that queued up, we'll get it out to everybody.
Sounds good to me.
All right, guys.
And I'm just putting in the chat, if anyone ever needs anything, feel free to reach out to me anytime. So
take care, folks.
All right.
Okay.
We'll talk
soon.
See you both. We're excited.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. What is next? First off, guys, I don't have anyone here. Oh, there's this guy. Can I bring you on, Bill? I'm here alone, man. I don't know how to use this stuff.
My nose or something when he did that, but yeah. Hey, you did fine, Kasra. I've got a lot of rookies running panels today, and everyone's doing just fine.
Oh, good. That's great. Okay. You want to stay on, or do you need to go back and
No,
take
no,
care
I'd
of
like to
whatever's
meet
on your finger?
the next group. I mean, I've got a few other things I got to prep for the rest of the show, but I know we've got some people in the green room that I haven't gotten to chat with before. I'd love to meet them.
All right. Well, we got a group that just kind of fell out of the sky. Won't say they made me believe in God, but pretty close. These are like two wonderful guys who have, well, when it comes to original art, they have a specialty, and they're pretty world class on it. So I'd like to bring them both in. Gentlemen, how you doing? Please introduce yourself.
Hey, Kasra. Hey, Bill.
Jose, Stephen.
So thank you so much, first of all, for having us on. And before I introduce myself, hello to all the original art collectors that are on the thread. I see a lot of familiar names here. You might not know me, but I know you, Marcus, with all your great comments on CAF, Alberto, Larry, Jason. You know, a lot of you guys, I know you. I appreciate your insights. So it's a pleasure to be here talking to you. So I'm Jose Caballeros, correct pronunciation. This is my trademark headset. And I collect specifically the original art used for trading cards. The majority of that is Marvel trading cards. And Kasra and Bill, I think, were shocked when I shared that I had the original art for over 2,000 trading cards at this point. I've just been kind of lurking, keeping it kind of a little secret.
Wait. Yeah. You told me that the two of you combined had 2,000. You have 2,000.
Just me. I mean, Steven has more discerning taste than I do. So he's more focused.
So Steven, we have different styles. Overlap. Same thing.
And yeah, so I collect the original art for trading cards. I'll leave it at that for now. And this is who's become a very good friend of mine, Steven, who has a incredible collection, has exhibited at some major shows in the broader art world. And so that's how I met him. I go to art shows in Miami, and I met him at one of those. So Steven, please take the baton.
Yeah, glad to be here. Nice to meet you, Bill and Kasra. Yeah, I think falling out of the sky. So we're here. It was a nice, graceful landing. I think we're at home with you guys. Like Jose, I'm a big collector of many things, including trading card art. Like Jose, I thought it was I was all alone down here in Miami doing this myself as a passion, and then happened to run into Jose, who almost is the same exact type of collector that I am with the Marvel trading cards specifically. And I have a big passion for it. I've been collecting it for maybe 20 years. The cards and then the art, and some of the display I have here behind me is part of the collection. I actually don't know how many I have. If it's 2,000, it might be 1,000, it might be, for me, I just like keep on getting more and more and more. And it's, I should do an inventory one day, I think.
There's no way you can own that much art without people not liking you. There's no way, right? There's between the two, you're probably over 3,000. And we've had a lot of talks, just so the chat knows. We've talked a lot over the last few months. I can't imagine anyone not liking these guys, but I didn't know it was that much. Even I didn't know it was that much. But the good news is that Stephen and Jose are basically opening up the vault. They've been extremely generous with their time and thoughts, and what they would like to do and see. And the two of you are going to be at OAX with an exhibitor booth, which we'll talk about in a second. But one of the things that we did with OAX that we haven't talked about a lot yet is we've set up gallery rooms for specific collections. Adam Kubert, we've talked about him having original art, particularly created for the Universal Parks, and the Saturday night auction art will be there on display as well, and likely a second Kubert gallery from a collector. But you all are essentially, if you will, you guys are going to curate. Well, I won't even say what you're going to do. I'll let you say what you're going to do. But there will be a gallery room dedicated entirely to the Marvel, original Marvel card art. And will you give us an idea of your approach or your thoughts on how to construct that gallery?
Yep. Awesome. So we have I see all the comments on the chat too, by the way. This is some of the stuff that you see here is going to be there. And specifically, we have the trading cards from Marvel Masterpieces, and Jose and I have a combined interest in both of that. So it's going to be an archive. The Marvel Card Archive is what Jose's question is a sample from each of those trading cards from Marvel Masterpieces. 92 Jusco, like you see here. We have Electro from that, all the way up to some of the more modern pieces by Dan DeSantos, Simone Bianchi. We have all of the great stuff from Hildebrandt, and we're going to have think of it as like a sampler of all of that different series that come out each year. So Jose and I have that, and also some Fleer Spider-Man. So that'll be in the gallery. We have a lot of art. It's very hard choosing what specific pieces there. So I put some of them behind me here. Unfortunately, I see the comments about the Thanos Quest covers of the comic book. Maybe in a future year for that. But Thanos is my favorite guy. So it's he's my dude. I collect Thanos and stuff. Jose, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, so I gave a shout out to the guys who collect the traditional comic art, but I'll give a shout out now to the gentlemen and women who collect the trading cards. A lot of them I see on the thread here. So hello. A lot of them will be coming to OAX, right? Because what we found is that a lot of us came in to you guys, a lot of you came in from comics to then comic art. A lot of us came in from comic cards to then sketch cards to then full-blown artwork for used to make the trading cards, and then even into the comic art, right? So we had a different pathway in, but we have a shared love of the overall medium, and that's why we're really appreciative that Bill and Kasra are giving us an opportunity to, I think, give a little bit more of a limelight to an maybe that's underappreciated, but definitely under-displayed part of the community. So that's what we really hope to bring everybody together during OAX. So like Steven said, it's going to be like a real cool, let's watch it through the years, how it's changed, how it's morphed.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting about comic art, we discussed this with you, Kasra, is you have the trading cards. Like this is the Spider-Man one that's very recognizable from Hildebrandt. I had this when I was in junior high school, and it's when you collect these cards, you're appreciating the art, like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon, and their collectible card games. You use them to play, sports cards. It may be like the athlete, but the cards are all about the art. So when you see the real art in person at something like OAX, it's especially if you're familiar with it, it's unbelievable. I have fans that come to look at it at my previous galleries. They're like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! This is like the actual card." I'm like, to see like their excitement because it's so well known. Like so many people collected this when they were younger, and today it's just as I think it's just as amazing, just as popular. There's a fantastic community of like Marvel card trading card collectors out there. Jose, and I are one of them, and all our friends we gave a shout out to that are in the chat here too. So it's gonna be great to see that in person and live when you come to OAX.
It's exciting that for me to actually be able to see all this artwork too, because it's a lot of stuff that doesn't end up on comic art fans. But I mean, there's a fair amount, but there's not as much as I would like. And I am definitely in the category of really appreciating the painted pieces. And I know with card art, the majority of the pieces are painted, and so just seeing all the artwork on both of your walls is phenomenal. And just the idea that we're going to get to see these pieces in person, a curated set that you both put together, is going to be exceptional. And again, just I'm glad that we have the vehicle from which to do that, because OAX was really meant to be open-ended and be able to welcome in all art types and genres. And I think that this is kind of a first step towards that. And and the fact that you both are in Florida as well, right? So you're not local, because Miami is like another state away. But it's fantastic.
Miami's a different country altogether, honestly. Yeah, no, I had the gallery in Miami before at Art Basel. Very different experience because Art Basel is humongous. People come all around. It's not about comics. It's not about like trading cards. It was like a lonely comic gallery that had a bunch of people where I met Jose actually, amongst all this other genres and cultures and stuff. So it was really cool to expose it there. But it also having something like OX come together where it's like specifically focused on like original art for different types of genres, whether it's comics and trading cards. That's gonna be really special because everybody there is is fans of this stuff here. That's what's gonna be awesome.
Well, both of you sent a few pieces that are probably likely to be in the gallery, or give people a taste of it. And Bill, I'm gonna try to share a window I've got here.
Okay.
And hopefully
Yeah, while you're bringing that up, so yeah, Stephen and I wanted to, and Kasra wanted to give the viewers a little taste of what we'll be bringing to the show. Um, Again, nothing beats seeing these in person, as any original art collector watching this knows. But at least you'll know that okay, this might be actually pretty good.
Yeah, classic. I think this is probably one of the most recognizable Marvel Masterpieces series. Back in '94, Hildebrand did, and the Spider-Man that you see right here is probably one of the highlight pieces for it. I have the card here, and it's it's pretty incredible to know that those guys did that work. Tim and Greg, great phenomenal talents.
So we're starting here with Jose. These are specifically, I believe, pieces from
Sure.
your collection, and you just bring them up and you go.
Yeah, so I'll talk briefly about the ones that I'm bringing. So here's a seminal piece by Dimitri Patelis for the '95 set. The editor of the set liked this piece so enough that he put it in the what's called like a hollow flash subset. And again, the card, since it has like a metallic finish, you kind of lose some of the awesomeness. When you see this in person, it really pops. With the person who framed this, I had like a crowd had gathered around. They were like, dude, is this what I think it is? Because again, when people see this in person, they're like, wait a minute, I know this art. I mean, it's like a comic cover. People recognize it instantly. A lot of people say, I still have this card in my house, in my closet. Like I still have my Marvel cards. And this is one of the better pieces in the set, in my opinion, and one of the really cool carnage lends itself well to Dimitri's style, which is this is airbrush, completely airbrushed. It's pretty big actually. You have the card. You can see it loses a lot, right? It loses a lot in that conversion to the card. Here's the back of the hollow flash. You can keep going, Kasra.
Yep.
And then here is, again, I tried to pick, both Stephen and I tried to choose pieces that were of even more importance than just in the card set. So a lot of them were the covers of certain magazines promoting the set. This card is featured on this card illustrated cover that's announcing the '95 set. So several of the pieces, quite a few actually, have a bigger prominence than just being on the card. And this is one of them.
Yeah, I can see why. And we got a second one here.
Yeah, so I actually picked this off. I picked this off of Comic Art Fans. Yeah, I had seen it at a show, like somebody had a show, and then eventually, before I could buy it, it ended up in Comic Art Fans, and I quickly said, hey, I do want that piece. This is a Peter Scanlon Spider-Man, and what's really, first of all, it's big, but what's extra notable is that this piece was used like literally every single promotion for like the biggest Spider-Man trading card set of all time, still to this day, which is the '95 Ultra set. It's on the box. It's on the packs. They made an ultra print, which they picked the 10 best pieces out of the set on. So it's an ultra print. It's everywhere. So a very, very, very recognizable piece. It really pops in person. The color looks like it was made yesterday, and it's been now 28 years. There's the box.
Yeah, this one was made into a card internationally as well too. Yeah,
exactly. This is cool. So some of the first '90s international cards that were officially licensed was this set. So for people who lived outside of the U.S., the first time they got Marvel cards officially was this box you're seeing here in '97. So even like the first international like taste of Marvel cards, this image is very recognizable to them.
Is that your sealed box too?
I have one, but it's not mine specifically. For time's sake, I just took them off the internet, but I do own a sealed box.
Yeah,
I have a hard time having sealed boxes. I just have to open them all the time. It's a problem.
Here's the album for reference. It's even on the spine.
Yep, beautiful. Oh, look at this.
So this is an interesting piece. This is by Alex Horley, and it was traded to me by a very good friend of mine. I'm very appreciative for the chance to add it to one of my favorite sets. Marvel Masterpieces 2007, which many collectors say, hey, but it's not original art. It's just recycled art. Yes and no. So the original art for all of the Marvel Versus System trading card game, when it was made starting in 2004, it was original art made specifically for that game. Just like it's made for Magic original, like custom made for that TCG, it was custom made under the division of Mark Irwin. At the time, he was the editor for Marvel Versus System. So he had this art commissioned specifically for the Marvel TCG Marvel Versus System. Then, after a few years, Fleer asked Mark to do a Let's Bring Back Marvel Masterpieces set, which was going to be released in 2007. It was an anniversary year. And so what Mark did is he didn't have the time to go and have art redone just for the set. So he picked the best pieces from the Marvel Versus system over the years, which were, again, big-time artists, wonderful pieces. And he used those to create the Marvel Masterpieces 07 and 208 sets. This is one of the, in my opinion, the best pieces that was reused. And do you happen to have the cover you have that cover handy by chance? No worries. So this was used for a non-sport update cover to announce the Marvel Masterpieces 07 set. So it's a Versus system art, it's a Masterpieces art, and it's the cover of a non-sports update. It's just a really cool piece.
And it's the right artist on the right subject too, Alex Horley. Yeah.
Yep.
And
then I
this
think
guy can do anything.
This might be my last one that I'm showing here. It's by easily my favorite both fantasy and Marvel artists, if you consider them that. It's by Greg and Tim Hildenbrand. It's the Chimera version of Namorita. Just a beautiful use of different blues, like underwater. It looks like she's really, alive and flowing. And the
I remember Jose brought this piece over to my house, before when he got it, and like he was glowing, and I saw him. He was like, "Oh my God! Like, look at this thing here! It's amazing when it's live there."
Do you guys hear me?
Yes, yeah, we're here.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're
Sorry
back.
about
Yeah.
that. So, just a really interesting thing that I wanted to share about this piece is I wanted to share what the brothers wrote about this piece in the back of the card, which is just like a lovely couple of sentences. I'll bring it up shortly. They wrote, we had two inspirations for this painting, the illustrator John Whitcomb's work and the underwater sequence in Disney's Alice in Wonderland. So again, just a really gorgeous piece, especially when you factor that in. And we'll have two examples from this set, this being one of them.
Should we do Marcus's question there? There's a question from Marcus about the sizes of these pieces. I'm sure they're all over the place. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if you see behind me right now, some of those pieces here from the different sets, like the Joe Jusko one here, I can bring it up. This the pieces like this from the '92 set. Not too much bigger than the actual trading card itself. For it. But there's a lot of detail on that, and you wouldn't, it's really hard to gauge that when you like have the card. And then you have the other pieces like the one behind me, the Thor, which is humongous, compared to that.
Yeah.
By Dan Dos Santos, it's like his latest set that came out recently. The 2022 the Marvel Masterpieces. So they're all different, and when it comes to the Masterpieces set, the artists are challenged quite a bit because they're drawing every single card inside of the entire set for the most recent Masterpieces with Palumbo and Bianchi and Dos Santos and Jusko. So you have to do like 130 cards within a year and a half, however they give you. So it was interesting meeting Dan Dos Santos, a good friend now. Hearing his story about his experience of painting this, of really just almost flowing, like trying to get a narrative in there and keep up with the pace. Never like double question what you're doing. Just go and do it, and to still have that level of quality with like how much you have to produce from it is quite a feat itself. I mean, so really impressive, and maybe it's why they also have like smaller and bigger pictures as well.
Thank you very much. And I think that there's one more, because I think I saved my favorite one for last. And I did. We're big fans of Palumbo here. Jose, we're not hearing you. We can feel you though.
Yeah. Yeah, this is I can speak for him until he gets it on there too if you don't hear it.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
There you are.
You're
Yep.
back.
Sorry, my
Yeah.
headset crapped out on me. I was waiting so long nervously on the waiting room that my headset ran out of battery. So this is, I was fortunate to be able to pick from the early selection of Palumbo pieces, and this piece stood out to me as something that was that really captured his skill and ability. Like the Hildebrandt, he has a knack for doing fire, And quite frankly, the other thing that appealed to me is that, as many of us know on that are watching, Marvel nixed for very good reasons this emblem on Punisher, and this is one of the last known time that it kind of got through the approval process, the traditional human skull on it. And by the way, Dave killed it because you see how he kind of made like the teeth. He kind of made like the extra clips. So he really, did a really slick job on this. Really a lot of feeling and passion into the painting. So again, one of the cool things is that a lot of the paintings that we're bringing, the artists will be at OAX, and so many of them have graciously agreed to speak to the paintings that we're bringing. We're gonna have a little time slots allocated, so they'll speak to like their whole process in the set. They'll speak to the particular painting at the show. So we have a good amount of artists already that are on board for that. So we hope that people will join those little breakouts.
Once we have the schedule for that, obviously we'll be very happy to publicize that. I mean, I'm excited.
Richard, Richard, good to see you in the chat. Richard, I'd like to see you throw around some raw umber on a surface like this. This is crazy. This painting is beautiful. I know, Bill, you're a big fan of Palumbo's, yeah?
Oh yeah, I've met him several times at the IX art show in Pennsylvania. I love his finished work. I love his roughs when he's just laying things out in oils. I mean, he's amazing. He's absolutely, and this is just a beautiful piece. But yeah, he's one of my favorite painters out there today. DeSantos, of course, is another one. Gist. I mean, there's a lot of painters that cross over into comics that I think are just phenomenal. We need more painters in comics, that's for sure.
Yeah, really love Gist. He's been doing a lot of the trading cards recently too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jose and I both like him a lot.
Yeah, I didn't reach out to him about this show. I saw him at MegaCon last year. He set up for that show, so I know he makes it out this way. Maybe in the future. I set up at IX a few years ago and was right next to Eric's booth and had a really got to talk to him for 4 straight days. He's an amazing artist, and that was prior to his time working on any of the card art and and anything with Marvel. And I was like, man, they got to hire you. And it was like the next year, bam, he was doing card art. So
he did a lot on the Fleer Avenger set that just came out earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Jose came over with an Archangel from that set. Remember before the trading card actually came out. And he was like, "Yeah, what do you think of this one? You want to trade for it?" And then the cards, and I was like, "Okay, it's all right. I'm not too big of an Archangel fan." Then the cards came out, and I was like, "Can I? You still want to trade for that?" He's like, "Nope, not anymore."
Well, we'll have an example of Eric's published card art at OAX. People should see that in person. It's impressive.
Yeah, it's really
There's
good.
one behind me now, but yeah.
So now we get a few pieces that Steven sent over, so we get him to narrate us through these images. I can go ahead, Steven?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. This one I gotta increase a bit.
So this is a very large triptych by Hildebrandt. For the Fleer Spider-Man trading card. It's actually 3 cards individually that they released of Spider-Man, Carnage, and Venom, and it makes up a triptych set of cards. This is Hildebrandt. Both of us, Jose and I, we share probably a favorite, if not the favorite. Not only just with Marvel, they've done Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, and they've done Magic cards. They're just so prolific, and they have such amazing style. But this one, why I like it so much, not only is it like Spider-Man, Venom, Carnage, some of my favorite characters. It just in person when you see it, the fire, it looks like the painting is on fire itself. The color on it is just so amazing. If I come in my the room and I take a look at it, I'm like, oh my god, it's burning. Oh wait, no, that's just the painting. Sorry. No, it's an amazing piece. It's very, very large. So this is one of the ones that we're going to bring into the gallery, to show all of the archive of each of the different sets for the themes. So we're really excited to have this one in the gallery.
See, this is one where I got to ask you, because it's the Hildenbrandts. The size, do you know the overall size of this one? Because it's got to have a presence. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I believe it's 24 inches by 46. Yeah, 46, 48. Yep.
Yeah, it looks like a 2-to-1 ratio. That's phenomenal.
Very big.
You've got
Very
people
big.
that have practiced fire with Schmaug now flying
Yeah.
it here, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and you could see like with them compared to some of the older stuff that they did with Lord of the Rings. You know, the Marvel art and the Star Wars art starts to become a lot more colorful and bright with the acrylics. You know, the Lord of the Rings ones, which I own a few of those from the calendars in the 70s. They're very dark. You know, they look you know, especially some of the ones that they do in like Mordor or you know, showing like that. It's very very dark and raw, but it still has their touch and stylistic elements that they have for it. But this Marvel one is just it's so bright and you know, just the colors on it are fantastic, and the great cards too.
Is this one that you might bring? Is this actually a possibility for OAX?
Yep, we plan to bring this one, so they'll be there.
Yeah.
So we think we can get 2 full runs with the space, at least 2. One will be Marvel Masterpieces all years. The other one will be Fleer Ultra Spider-Man all year. So we think we can get those 2 runs. So this will be the example from the 2017 Ultra Spider-Man set. Like the Spider-Man I showed earlier from Peter Scanlon is the 95 example. So we think we can do, and we might do a different series. We're gonna map out the space on the walls on the grid. We'll try to get as many series on as possible on the wall.
I think it's a great one to bring also because you know, you kind of get 3 characters in one painting. Yeah, so this one here, you know, I showed the example earlier. You have it right here. You know, this is the very first Masterpieces, you know, set that was ever published, you know, back in 1992 by Joe Jusko, before he came back for another round and did 2016. You know, so the reset of like the modern Marvel Masterpieces trading card set. This is Electro, and you know, you see how the size of it is not too big, but it's such. I think this one in the 94 Masterpiece set are just so iconic. I remember being in elementary school and you know, having these cards as a kid, and you know, trading them and opening them up, hoping to get like the Battle Spectra cards from them too. And you know, future me, you know, if I ever got to talk to past me and says like, hey, you're gonna own some of these originals, I'd be like, shut up, future Steve. There's no way you're gonna have this stuff. It's amazing to incredible to see it. Such iconic pieces, and you know, they're very hard to come by. I haven't, you know, I go on comic art fans all the time. I don't see them listed too much, so they're hidden away in a vault somewhere. But you know, I'm very happy to bring mine out from vault and share it with the world at OAX.
Yep, there's the card. Yep.
Yeah, it's great. So yeah, very very awesome. And here's another one. This is from 1996 Marvel Masterpieces by somebody that is not too unknown, Boris Vallejo. He is an amazing fantasy artist that has done so many things. He's done covers of like National Lampoons, of movie covers. He's done so much fantasy art. Him and his partner Julie Bell, they did a set in '96 for Masterpieces. The cards are actually extremely hard to find themselves. This is really like, I think, Jose, the last run that they did where, you know, 96, they stopped Masterpieces for a while up until, you know, they reset it back in about 10 years later. So the trading cards, you know, in 92, 93, 94, they were really like printed like massive scale. That's why everybody recognizes them. 95, 96, they started to do less quantity of the prints. And, you know, the cards themselves are extremely hard to come by. So this particular one is one of the only Weapon X, you know, versions of Wolverine that was painted for, you know, for the sets here. And this is the original. I mean, Boris is just, you know, one of the all-time, you know, greatest fantasy artists. And, you know, he did a lot of the, you know, him, you know, for this set, he did the entire thing with his partner, Julie. It's a phenomenal set. And I think this is a great example of it, especially because Wolverine is loved by many. So this one will be there at OAX in person, the real one.
With a Dave Palumbo nearby. Is he not their son?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
he is Julie's son.
Yep.
That's right, Julie. That's right.
Talent runs in the family. Yeah.
I did, as you guys know, I did ask if Boris could come to the show because he's, you know, good friends with the Wilshires and always sets up at IX, and so does Jewelry. But they said that you know, he's not doing a lot of traveling these days, so that got ruled out. But I asked early because he was one of when I spoke with Sean Gordon Murphy, I asked him, you know, who would you like to meet as a creator? And Boris was number 1 on his list. Jusko was number 2. oddly enough, I mean, it's not people that I would have expected, but he's like, if you could get either one of those artists, I'd be happy. So
yeah, there's a reason why the masterpieces they pick the artists that they do for each set, because
Exactly.
they're just a standout artist that is just iconic in what they do here. So I mean, each one of them are a talent, a unique talent for it. It's really cool to see that. So not surprised that that's the request. Yep, and here's here's the example here that you see right behind me. I think Spider-Man is probably the most, actually definitely the most popular character in Marvel. So bringing examples of them of Spider-Man from different artists for these, whether it's the Hildebrand one from the Fleer set, or the one from the Masterpieces set, or the one from Scanlan that Jose has from the earlier set on the box art. So we'll have various renditions of Peter Parker for his different trading card sets here, and this one is the Tim and Greg card. Have one here, a PSA graded card number 115 from it, and there's a lot when you see these in person. The actual painting it's interesting, because on the actual painting, the signature of Tim and Greg. If you notice they're right next to his leg. There's no signature, but on the card, they printed the signature on that, so they actually switched it around, and small little things that you wouldn't really expect that they do from the originals.
There's a lot more art than was printed on the card, is what Steven's getting at. Even like with the 92 masterpieces, it's insane how much more art there is than what was printed on the card. So that's kind of cool too to see extra.
Yeah, I know that Dan DeSantos, the new set too, that is definitely the case, where a lot of the paintings like Wolverine, he had arrows inside of him from there, and there's like blood, and they changed the card a bit, and also it's hard to capture in such a small piece. Even though they do great printing, sometimes you don't get to see all the details as you would there in person. So this is an example that we'll have at the gallery to show, and people can take a look at it IRL.
It's fantastic. Oh, sorry, Simone. Give me a second.
Crotch shot.
Yeah,
iron crotch shot.
Yes. So this is a very, very recent acquisition. Anybody that's here in the chat or watching this that scrolls through eBay or Comic Art Fans daily and sees it, they would probably have noticed that this one was for sale on eBay recently, as recent as last week. And I have to say, Jose, he let me know about it. I was like, there is no freaking way that I'm not going to be getting this, because I have a lot of this set. It's one of my favorites, and I actually own the 1-of-1 trading card for this. So what's interesting about the new masterpiece sets from the past few years is they're all serial numbered, and they have different versions of each card. So they make the base card, obviously, they have a purple version, they have orange version, and they keep getting rare. They're all stamped with different serial numbers on it. And then they have, for this particular set, a red 1-of-1. So it's just one version of it. So actually, when you collect them all, it's called the full rainbow. And getting this piece, the actual original art, made it a true full rainbow. So this is the real 1-of-1. It's used on the box art, it's used on the packs, and it's one of the best paintings that's in the set, if not of everything that he's done. He's a great Italian artist. I've met him in person. Phenomenal artist here, and I think that he's only going to get better and more popular with it. So great example from the Masterpieces set to show the box art, and probably the most familiar one of that particular run.
Yeah, and of course Simone will be at OAX. Yeah.
Yes. I'm excited to see him again. I wonder if he misses any of his paintings here. So
well, he'll get to visit this one and tell us more about it. So
yeah. So actually, what's interesting, that there's the orange parallel from that, which is one of the rarer ones. What's interesting about this piece is, and from the trading cards, if it's fun for people, they'll have preliminary and original art redemptions. So imagine like opening a pack of cards, and not just a sketch card that you get out of some of them, but something that says, hey, you can redeem this for the original art. I didn't particularly pull it. Somebody had it, because the card came with that preliminary art redemption. So you get the whoever got it, got the art for free from Upper Deck, or whatever the price they paid for the pack or box of it. So a really cool thing that they do, perks with these cards. And then this example here is the other one you see right behind me. Dan Dos Santos, this is his Thor from the set. This one, it's very hard to describe unless you see it in person. The piece here, Jose and I and many of our friends in the community went to a gallery event that was really the first look at this amazing body of work that Dan did for the latest Marvel Masterpieces set. So we got to see all of them there in a preview before they got printed about 3 or 4 months later. And this is one of the larger pieces that he painted along with Spider-Man and Daredevil and a couple of triptychs. It just stands out. It's an amazing, colorful work. There's so much to it that you can see the detail there with like his style. There's a lot of like things that he puts on there, like even where he's sitting on his autograph, kind of like there on the column that's pulled down. This piece here is also one of the what they call the tier 4 sets, which is like the lower print number of the cards too. So it's a rarer card from that particular Marvel Masterpieces set too. Astounding work that we're excited to show in the gallery as well.
Yeah, Dan is an unbelievable painter. He can sling paint. If people haven't seen his work, I hope they take a second.
What's great with Dan too, like if you guys are on Patreon before, or anybody hasn't heard of that before, you can subscribe to see. He shares a lot of the videos of him, like those like really fast versions of it to show him like from just a sketch all the way to the outline, the painting to the final version of it. And when you see the time lapse videos of how he does it, I mean, he's just out of this world. I mean, and such a nice guy with such amazing talent. It's phenomenal how he can do it, and every painting from the card set that he did tells a story about the character too. They're very narrative pieces, which I really like to have, and to be able to do that with the time pressure, 130 narrative pieces for a trading card set, and make them all this level of quality. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, no, I've always loved Dan's work. It's fantastic. Congrats on getting this one.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Very, very, very proud. Very, I don't take it for granted. I enjoy this too much. I think my wife says too much too, because I don't get to see her. I know where Steve's at it. He's not missing. He's in his room looking at art. She enjoys it too, though. She's understanding.
Well, guys, we're coming up on 5, and we have a little bit more time. I know we talked about it being great for, let's just say, someone who's really well known with painting card art and sketch cards. I know. Give us a quick thought on your booth, because I know we've gone from original tremendous Marvel card art. But talk a bit about your sort of intentions with the booth, and then we can bring in a guest too.
Yeah. So, when you think of comic art fans, I love it when a few years ago Bill decided to add, the different types of art, and that really, it really brought to life like how many different subsections there are. And I was very pleased to say that card art had a section, as we've talked about, but I was also pleased to see that sketch cards got some love.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, there is a world of collectors out there that collect original art, but in a trading card size. And it's not by accident. To make a very long story short, many moons ago, certain set creators said, how do we bring original art to collectors' hands? But we can't put a full-size painting in a pack. So how we'll do it is with a little piece of art, sketch card size, that a collector can find. And a friend of mine, Matt Fuller, who's watching, he and I will essentially, one of the segments that we'll have in art for OAX and subsegments will be the history of Marvel sketch cards, right? Not Marvel sketch cards, but of all sketch cards. Whose idea was it? How did they first get to collectors? And then coming through the years, where are we now? So, it's a big part of collectors, a big part of the original art hobby. A lot of the people that are watching now are sketch card collectors. So the booth, even though the gallery will be all original art from Metro cards, the booth will be 50-50. It will be some original art pieces that didn't make it into the gallery, and it will be a lot of sketch cards, like probably over 1,000 sketch cards in binders, etc., that we are encouraging our friends to bring to the booth to buy, sell, trade, and really foster, a community way of the trading aspect of trading sketch cards.
And there's gonna be a lot of Marvel too, but we can, there'll be other sketch cards as well.
Definitely.
So I'm a big Magic the Gathering fan. Sarah Angel, probably a legendary one. Artist proof. This is a sketch from the actual artist of the card. That they did on the back of it here. So some examples of some of that stuff. Artist proofs are a big thing that they do of putting whatever they want on the actual card too. So a couple examples of that.
So yeah, it crosses a lot of other subgenres of trading cards. Again, and these go for sizable dollars, right? A very good sketch card or very high-end sketch card can go for thousands of dollars, believe it or not. People are like, why would you pay that when you can just buy a cover? Well, it is what it is. Like, people really like their sketch cards. They want it card sized. And Kasra, if you don't mind, I'll segment into our guests at this point, because I think it's the right time. So, there are certain artists who I'm pretty sure, because we're following their careers early, some of their biggest hits were sketch cards before they finally got like a lot of comic artwork. Like, they first got their foot in the door through doing sketch cards for a particular set. In one of our big groups fairly recently, about maybe like 6 months ago, a newcomer to sketch cards posted his sketch cards for a set that he had done, and it got, by likes and by comments, it was the most popular post easily in the last year in this pretty busy group on Facebook. And the art on the sketch cards was very impressive, very high end, very good. Everybody across the board, everybody's got their own opinion on art, but everybody liked this guy's stuff. It was really impressive, and he's a really nice guy. And we thought, how great would it be to kind of bolster this relationship with the sketch card collectors than to bring like somebody who's really making a splash in the sketch card world, and we think will make a splash ultimately in the comic world as well. So, we were like, hey, let's get, instead of we're going to go in reverse. We're going to go from trading cards to sketch cards to you guys in the comic books, hopefully, if everything works out. So we wanted to introduce someone who is doing some amazing artwork right now.
Eric Grove.
Hi there.
Hi, Eric. Thank you for joining us. And the good news is Eric will be coming to OAX. Now, Eric, we barely talked. We've only met for a few minutes before the show, but I didn't ask you, do you actually do you paint at shows, like at conventions at your table? Is that something you're comfortable doing?
I've never painted before a convention. The last convention I attended was probably 5+ years ago. Those pencils and inks, with paint, it gets a little bit trickier. You got to try and knock commissions out at a good time. It's not outside of the realm of possibility to do that. You just have a certain set of parameters. You got to try and keep it within those parameters. So as long as that's there, it's possible to do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't usually see, I don't usually see oil painting going on unless someone's on a they're on a stage of heroes or something.
Sorry, if you're using like acrylic or watercolor or anything that dries fast, it's definitely a lot better.
Well, the good news is that Eric has agreed to do some commission work prior to OAX, and not only has he agreed, and he's offered a pretty good handful of them, but Eric has gone kind of above and beyond with your pricing. Thank you for that, Eric. You're essentially doing a sort of an OAX sort of promo or discount pricing. I hope I described that correctly, because it's a significant sort of reduction from your normal rates. And I think, Bill, you prepared some cards here, and I can bring them up and we can show people some examples of your work and what's being offered. And I'm sorry, Eric, we probably have a good maybe 5 more minutes. We're a little bit pressed for time, but we'll try to get through this.
Not a problem.
So, well, here we go. There's a beauty. So, Eric, feel free to bust in here and say what you'd like, please. But you've got 9x12s. I know that's the first tier, and you're offering 3 of these. And I guess it looks like you're willing to do an additional character too, with just a bit more added to the price. Yes.
Yeah. Obviously 9x12 being a smaller format, it gets gets trickier. But adding other characters is definitely not a problem. That can certainly be done. Yeah.
It's amazing, really great.
And we've got, I think we've got another example here, 9x12. You do a great Spidey.
Yeah, this one was fun. A lot of experimentation, and it was just it's an all-around fun card to do. And this piece went to a friend of Jose and I think Stevens as well, Justin, and it was very fun to have this piece make it to his hands. So.
Eric, I'm definitely getting a commission from you at OAX, so get ready for your best Thanos.
Awesome.
And again, there's an email there, info@oa-expo.com for the requests, and we'll get them over to Eric and approved. And at some point when we feel like living creatures again this week, we'll probably put like a commission request form on the OAX website, so you can do it through there as well, and that will automatically go to both us and Eric directly. And I think there might be another 9x12 example here, and you get an idea of what the physical art looks like in this one.
Yeah, this piece is actually still this one was done in oil. I still have this one on hand, but yeah, profile pieces, headshots. On 9x12 again, yeah, not a problem. They're always fun to do.
Yeah.
I really like this Nightcrawler piece. It's really, really slick. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I was aiming for kind of like a Renaissance kind of look.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
And then we're going up to 11x17 here for $750, and you can see that these are very, very reasonably priced, and certainly, again, thank you, Eric. For offering these up to everyone who is coming to OAX or intending to or thinking about it. Here you go. So we've got this great Wolverine example. I think we've got one more. I'll just bring it up for the sake of time here. 11x17 single character. Only one of these though. So Stephen might have already claimed it.
Yeah. Funny enough, the previous Wolverine you showed, I also have the original here with me.
One.
And then this one also went to Justin.
Eric, when we get through just a couple more cards, and we get back to showing your studio, your space area, if you've got a painting to show on the screen, that would be great.
Sure.
And then we've got some sketch card work that you'd be doing as well. I saw. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I have a lot of MODOK pieces, and I saw a MODOK piece that you did that was legitimately phenomenal, like better than most of the depictions of MODOK that I've seen in any Marvel comic book. But here you go. Pre-show, PSU provide stock, single character, 3 spots for this one.
Yeah, just a beautiful cable. I mean, a lot of like life and texture to the actual piece in person. It's a beauty.
And then one more here. Third Eye flat top.
Not an easy character, right, to execute well on, in my opinion. A lot of artists, I think, in my opinion, is you don't see this character drawn very often, even though it's a fan favorite. It's because it's not easy to deliver the goods on him. And this is a perfect rendition of him, in my opinion.
So again, 3 spots here. You can email info at, and next week we'll get a newsletter out with all of the crazy amount of OAX announcements during Comic Art Live, but we might spread it out over 2 emails. I'm not sure, but Eric, you'll certainly be in there. And we've got at least 40 seconds left if you want to stand up or punch something or show us a piece of art or do whatever you like.
I've got a
punch a piece of art. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got smaller, just whole significant, these smaller pieces that I create as well, that I can bring with larger sizes as well. I'll be bringing all of this with me. There's some that you'll notice. This was one of the pieces from the Legions vs. X-Men set. There was a larger piece. I think I can't remember who it went to, but this was one of the practice piece that I did. I can bring stuff like that with. Just just a variety of different pieces.
Oh man, if you bring any of the original card art, that you did for stuff like that, Jose, all right, we're gonna have be fighting over it. So then we'll be punching stuff.
Yeah.
Great.
So whatever. I'm also going to be painting. Have a really focused attention towards the show, so I'm going to be painting a lot more than normal. And I'll be bringing whatever I create now up until the show. I'll bring that with me as well.
Thank you, Eric. I know it was this is kind of last second. We're actually winding down, like quite literally, to the last one or two artists that we're bringing in, but it was just a really good idea to have you along with these guys.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, and really looking forward to it.
And they may have 20 or 30 people, for all I know, surrounding you at all times for the entire weekend. So
just so everybody knows too, I posted a link to Eric's Facebook page, and you can see a lot of the, even a few of the pieces he just held up, like the Captain America, are on there. So if you want to get better images right now versus the slides that we've shown, you can see better examples over there for certain.
Yeah, and the Instagram as well, I generally post a lot. I think it's like a shared account, so a lot of it goes over it, but pretty much everything goes on there as well. So anything I create from now till then, I'll post up there.
Okay, guys, and we've had I think we had like a 2-hour Zoom call like a couple of weeks ago. We definitely can talk forever. These guys are absolutely amazing. You want to meet them in person. You'll want to stand in front of this art, certainly. But it's just, I've learned more about this community in the last 90 days than in the last decade combined, and it's just phenomenal. It's a phenomenal community. And I keep watching videos and learning about it and seeing the art. And I missed the boat a bit on some of the card sets that have come out and some of the art that's been generated through it, because I'm an art guy first. I mean, I love storytelling and narrative, but this has been truly a lot of fun for me. And thank you both for throwing it. I mean, you guys are all in. It's been a lot of fun already. And Eric, thanks for saying yes and coming down. We'll talk after this again. I'll get you some info and email. And the guy said yes, basically word of mouth from these two. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you again for the opportunity, and nice meeting you all.
And this is literally where we have to hang up on you. Is that all right? So Stephen, Jose, Eric,
thanks for everything. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Kasra. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you so much.
Guys.
All right.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty awesome to see all that artwork at the show. This is my first, exposure to them and what they were going to be bringing potentially. Kasra's been handling all the meetings because I've always got something else going on typically. But wow, having that as a component to the show is something that, we've been talking about it for a month, but now we're able to actually let people know that there's going to be this incredible work there that, just goes beyond what you're going to be seeing on the exhibit floor. And I can't wait for it.
The cool thing is, and I think, Billy, you need to go in a minute here, but before in November 30th, we've got scheduled for on a Thursday night to come on and talk to you. There's going to be another collection, a fairly significant family based illustration collection that will have pieces from Gustave Doré all the way through Frank Frazetta. And they will be set up in a gallery and in a booth. And on the 30th, you'll be able to find out about that. And that will be gallery number, I think that will be gallery number 5 then of 6. And the 6th is nearly done. And we'll be able to talk about that, I'm sure, in early December.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I got to run to do some prep work for the next panel at 6.
Yeah, hopefully I won't screw up the rest, and I can talk to the chat, hopefully. But we got the next, Bill, I'll see you soon. We got a next guy. You guys have probably never seen this guy before.
Hey, Kasra.
What club are you at?
I'm at a bar in a bowling alley.
Wow,
hey,
at the same time.
Yeah. I told you I have my bowling league on Sunday, and you asked me to show up anyway. So I'm like, okay, we're going to have this call at a bowling alley.
Yeah, well, when we wanted to talk about Collectors Alley, and we were doing that from a bowling alley. So James has signed on to get a Collectors Alley table. Remember, guys, there was going to be 6. Now there's going to be 8 Collectors Alley tables. Are sold out of the 6. And James has just signed on, so I wanted to just have him come on and say, "Hi, my name is James. I'm in a bowling alley, and I'm going to be at OAX." So, James, what's the thinking here? Other than getting in an hour early, you little SOB. What are you thinking about bringing to the table?
Oh, well, it's interesting. I have to rethink some of it because CAF Live destroyed my wallet. And so I turned around and sold a few pieces I was going to bring to OAX a little early, but I'll go through the collection and look again. But majority of the pieces I've curated are, I collect Marvel's 90s, and so I have Marvel's 90s for sale. I think I have a pretty good eye of art. So, I'm just trying to. I'm not going to read the chat. I'm just going to talk to you.
I don't know why I am, but we definitely need to do this. Yeah.
I'll tell you. The reason I grabbed the table, I'm doing it with Brit's Comic Art. What am I thinking of his name right now?
Joseph Melchior.
Yeah, Melchior. My apologies. So he was looking to get a table, and I thought it was an opportunity to split a table with him. Kind of get the VIP treatment. I'm mostly using it as a networking opportunity for the green room, to be able to have a table to interact with all my fans named Marcus, to do all the poses for Marcus, to take pictures with Marcus, whatever he wants, man. He sent me the VIP experience, or he purchased it, so he'll get it. But now
we've got James here for a second, and it's Q&A time. This is there's no Slido here.
Shit.
Send your questions.
No, if you guys didn't know, I am a bowler, so I am a finely tuned athletic machine when it comes to all things bowling sports. So let's see. Marcus has to go. But no, really, I'm looking forward to OAX. There's a lot of buzz. I've been talking to a lot of people that normally don't kind of travel to these cons, or some big collectors too that, usually maybe just go to San Diego and New York, even from out of town, and they're going to make it a destination. I think there's going to be a lot of non-dealer collectors with a lot of art, almost like Comic Art Live, but you get to see it in person, you get to hold the piece, you get to look at it, you get to count all the stats on the page. So it's a different experience than kind of a digital OAX.
Yeah, thank you. I think it'll be good. We were, man, back in April, May, June, we were like, can we fill 2 days? And now we're like, we genuinely think that most people will have more than they can get to over the 2 days.
Yeah.
And that's mostly just the cooperation of the artists and exhibitors, and some of the surrounding activities. We haven't talked really about the gallery rooms much. We're just getting it to now, but the VIP experiences, and some people will be doing some off-site dinners, and there'll be likely some drink and draw events. There'll be tours of Universal, and there'll be a lot of different collectors and artists mixing up and going out and doing strange little adventures that I have no business knowing about. But all that stuff will be going on. So
I have a couple questions for you, Kasra.
Yeah.
First, to answer Marcus, it had an American flag on it. That's the only reason I did it for Veterans Day. I have a secret admirer who wanted to know what your mustache regiment was.
Jason, Jason wants to know whether I use the same oil he uses.
Yes.
Well, I won't say what he uses it for, but no, I do absolutely nothing. That's the key to looking this good, is to not spend a single minute thinking about anything. Yeah.
Well, perfect. And the other thing was, since this is your guys' private con and it's not like a normal con, is there day drinking on the con floor?
I don't think that the venue allows that, which is part of the motivation to not be in that venue by year 3. Yeah.
No, it's mostly like the reason we went with the table, to answer your original question,
Yeah.
I wanted the green room experience to be able to, kind of interact not with just the collectors, but a lot of the artists backstage for I see it as a major networking event.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And the big thing is we'll be talking to more and more people about bringing Itoyas. I know we've mentioned it a handful of times, but we really haven't driven the point home. And it'll be the power of 500 collectors deciding what art to bring and why that will end up potentially overshadowing the entire show that we put together. You guys literally would make the show sort of enter stratospheric levels if it participated in that way. And we've set aside the space. There's the hours are on the shorter side for the show on purpose, 10 to 5, to not exhaust you basically, or the artist. And you guys it will be rabid, I think, for 48 hours. Yeah.
I will not share it, and it will be a secret to the day of OAX, but we finalized our t-shirt design.
Oh.
So our table will have a OEX adjacent shirt.
Adjacent. Nice. I get that. That's a very good legal term. I like that.
And the art is done by a close friend of ours and yours truly, not myself, and it is fantastic.
Yeah,
so,
I believe it, especially if that person, as good as their hair looks, their design is even better. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, it's almost practice bowl. I know you have a lot better guests on. I was just kind of here for an appetizer.
This is a Sunday thing. This is a bowling league thing every Sunday.
Yeah, I was in a league. I grew up in Alaska, so you don't play outside, right? You bowl inside. And then I joined the league a few years ago, and then COVID hit. And then a buddy of mine asked me to come back this year. So it's my first time back in a number of years, and I mean, it's just something to do on a Sunday. Family comes.
Are you over a 140 average? That's the cutoff.
About 185, 190.
185. Okay, you're a real bowler.
I got 2 balls that are my own and my own shoes.
We all come that way, even when we grow up in Alaska.
I thought about showing you my bowling balls, but they're over in the other place.
See, guys, he's just playing to the chat. See that? All right, you're gonna leave me with that. You're gonna drop a bomb and then leave, and that's a good idea. Thanks for getting on a Sunday, James, at
You're
the
welcome.
bowling alley in Oklahoma. That's awesome, and thanks for getting the collector's alley table. We really want that to be an annual thing. It looks like it's gonna be.
Yeah, yep. I'm excited, dude. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Kasra.
Thanks. Talk to you soon.
See you, sir.
Got another artist coming on. I don't want to wait. I don't want to fluff him up or do anything. The poor guy's been in there for a while. I saw like big clouds of smoke too. Was that smoke that I saw, Ben? Like, you vaping or what? Are we not allowed to talk about that? Was it a vape? You're indoor in San Diego. California laws aren't the same as Seattle. You're you're in San Diego now, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
Okay. Back home again.
No,
IDW not the same. Sorry?
Well, they're not in San Diego anymore. They're up in Hollywood somewhere. LA. They closed their offices or something recently.
IDW did?
Yeah, man. There's a bunch of venture capital, corporate media type people now up in LA. Last I heard.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I do vape a little, only in the studio. Never when I travel.
Just so you know, your video is stopping, but your audio is fine. It's probably is Ash playing some stuff? Is she like
no, it's just me. It's just me. No one else. It's just my crap internet connection, maybe. San Diego, I get no choice on the internet. Sorry.
All right. Well, Ben's coming to OAX, which is great because I haven't seen you in person in way too long. Well, I saw you Heroes. No,
yeah, for like briefly Heroes.
Yeah. But you had the real stuff there. You had the Arnold Schwarzenegger cigar. I think you had a nice cigar that night.
Heroes Con's always a good time for one cigar. Are you saying OAX is good for a cigar?
Oh, easy. Yeah, you could probably do it indoor in Florida.
I saw the fire pit thingy with the outdoor section bit sort of thing. So, and thank you for inviting me. By the way,
no brainer.
Couldn't really say no. It's like, oh, it sounds interesting.
Yeah, you couldn't say no because I asked. Come on, stop there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it takes a while to get back to emails sometimes. I'm sorry, but yeah, I see.
Yeah, you're terrible about that. I can just I'll text you. That's fine. You get back. You get back.
You
just make me nervous.
I get too much spam on my email. I'm sorry. I have to wait.
See, guys, if you ask Ben a simple question, it takes, I don't know, sometimes 3 weeks. You ask him to draw like 5 pieces with a little bit of a deadline, and my goodness.
It's because I need to look out for the email, man.
That was incredible. That was incredible what you did. Ben got his mystery sketches done impossibly fast. And I
might have been a little enthusiastic, that's all.
I have a few, I think, here. I'm just going to show a couple just because it passes time.
I'm sorry about the one that I
that's my fault.
Misinterpreted the actual words and took them literally.
That was my fault. Here we go.
No, that's because I've been drawing a lot of those certain things in recent history. So it's like, oh,
really?
Yeah, okay, I'll do more. Yeah.
People
I told them when I draw the thing you wanted as well, but yeah.
All right, I've got something here.
I want that one back if you don't want it, by the way. I like that one.
Okay.
It was good.
It was good.
Hey, Matthew.
You know Tulio too? That guy gets around. Here we go.
Not offhand, but hello.
All right, here's a Kitty Pryde.
These are things I don't normally do, really, too. Like I've never done Kitty Pryde in my life, so.
And Scott Pilgrim rocking out. I think if you're in the chat and you ask for Scott Pilgrim rocking out, that was exact instructions.
Are you spoiling some of these now?
Yeah, I hope so.
This is I can show them too. All right.
Yeah. Please go ahead. Erica Slaughter from Something is Killing the Children. This one's great.
I like that one.
And
I've done more than a simple head bust sketch type thing. I just
this one's cover composition. Yeah, this is something I would see you do as a cover. Just boom, boom.
And I did them all 9x12, which I don't normally do, but I think I've got a bunch of pads of that, so I can do 9x12s. So my normal 8.5x11 will be 9x12s because I have plenty. I always like the joke. Pretty easy.
Oh yeah, that was an easy one to pass along.
There's a guilty pleasure.
Let's see, what do we else we got? Well, you're coming to OAX, and you're also going to do some pre-OAX stuff. We may as well talk about that.
I will do whatever anyone wants. I just don't kiss on the mouth.
That wasn't the vibe I got Saturday Night at Heroes. Yeah, a couple drinks in.
If you buy me a drink, then all bets are off.
Yeah. The reception is open bar, Ben, for 3 hours.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So you don't kiss in your mouth when you remember, but otherwise, stuff.
I haven't blacked out in a very long time. Just saying,
Shit happens. Let's see what we got here now, Ben. Walk us through here. I think we've got some cards loaded up. It's been a crazy like 4 or 5 days, so I'm not sure where I'm at. Here we go.
That's all the work and success so far.
Thank you.
I'd never done him as the X-Force sort of variant, so
okay.
And it's an excuse to throw a lot of blood around.
So 8.511 single character. Here's an example, 250. You can email through, and again, next week there'll be a request form on the site, and we'll make sure that Ben gets this. This is another example here.
But I'll bump up all the 8.5x11s to 9x12s because I have a bunch of really good watercolory paper to work on.
Oh, great!
So that's not a problem. You got me in the groove of them with the mystery sketches.
Oh, good. So here's another example and another one. Right. And so those are all, and I guess for now, Ben, we won't put a limit on them. You'll just say, cut it off, and then we'll do it that way.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah,
okay.
I can do a lot.
And here we go. We got Galactus, and then here's
I like doing Galactus, yeah.
So if we go full body, 9x12, 9x12 again here, it'll go up to 400, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and info at, and then you're doing.
All sorts of any fancy things.
Look at that. That's the shit right there. 11 by 17 single character. I mean, I guess other people would describe these as cover quality. That's glowy. That's nice. $550 for this. I gotta ask, you want to stay you want to stay with single character, right? Would you take a 2-character request, or we just tell them to screw off?
I would. Yeah, I mean, I would.
Okay, great.
I might ask for a little bit more, maybe, just because
there's a couple of guys that ask for 10 characters or more, and we'll see what happens.
And they're all riding bicycles and horses, right? Yeah, got it.
Yeah. This is something that I don't remember you ever doing before. This is 15 by 22. Is this acrylic? Are you going acrylic with these, or what are you using?
No, they're acrylic inks.
Okay.
Acrylic inks and gouache, pretty much. I've swapped to acrylic inks for a lot of stuff because you can do a lot with them, but they still kind of behave like watercolor a lot too. But
so, did you do some of that for the Lust project? Do you remember, or was that some of that was oil on paper?
Yeah, no, that was some of it was oil, and then the rest was like watercolor. So.
Right. So this is 1522 as well. That's a size. That's a pad that is a single sheet that you've got.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of like archival nice paper, stretching it and then putting it on a board and going bigger.
Going bigger. 1522. Wow, single character 900. Info at Ben Templesmith pre-show OAX. There you go. So yeah, we'll get that up. And I want to get this panel. I want to get this panel done, Ben, so bad, and then I can go have a meal and maybe watch like a 10-minute YouTube video of just like monkeys throwing bananas at each other. Huh?
Go and eat and use the bathroom.
Yeah, that too. Now, there's one more definitely. Before you go, Ben and I now, believe it or not, Ben, we can say this. We're now old friends. We shared a studio in Chicago for a number of years, did an art collective and a publisher.
We sweat some blood together.
Woof! The two people that bled the most.
And other juices.
Right here, yeah. With 44 Flood. That was good times. So, but there were a lot. Good people. Yeah. Tyler Crane, Ben Murphy, even Nick Idell. Some of the best people. And Keith Carmack, of course. Just one bad apple. But you told me, and I think we're allowed to show this, when we were at Flood, we did this beautiful thing, this Dagon book. I've got mine copy here. And we did a slipcase version. And this is Lovecraft, of course. And it's just tremendous. I knew you wouldn't bring this, Ben, so I grabbed it from the shelf. Oh, look at that.
In storage, yeah.
Sorry?
I still have a few copies in storage.
Oh, good. Very, very good.
I could bring them too, maybe. I don't know.
The good news that you just told me a few days ago is that you're thinking about doing a follow-up Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Oh.
I already have samples made, so.
Oh, it's done.
Well, the book's done, but I mean, these are print samples.
So here, I've got. Let me bring up a few.
Do the main print one, yeah. It's what crowdfunding's for, hopefully.
Okay, let me see if I something that people could see a little bit better. Sorry, guys, I couldn't prep beautiful slides. You just completely ran out of time. Let's see.
If you like Lovecraft, I tend to adaptation.
Okay. Oh, look at this. This is the cover, of course. Yeah, Dunwich.
Yeah, wraparound cover. But yeah.
So you printed this out as a soft, like a trade already?
Well, it's a hardcover. Yeah. There'll always be hardcovers.
Oh, okay.
So
how many pages? 72? Yeah, and you've got some extras in the back. Some. I
printed 5 special. Printed 5 special. So it's good to know the weight and the everything. So that I just have to click print when go to print when it's all done.
Ben, you spelled your name right on the cover.
Yeah, I didn't do this one at 4 a.m. in the morning, rushing. Yeah. Where was my editor on this damn thing? Anyway.
You know what?
That's why I'm going to reprint Dagon as well, and finally
like Dagon was the book that I probably did the least on, and then of course you're such a nice guy. You gave me the Art Whisper editor credit, and right on the cover your name's misspelled.
You always were, man. You always were.
And I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything for that project. I just helped out with the Kickstarter. Here we go. Here was some interiors. You got to see these interiors. Ben is just made for this. Look at this. Oof. So you're gonna crowdfund. Yeah, you're definitely gonna crowdfund and and soonish maybe.
Next week or the week after, hopefully.
Oh, that's very soonish. Okay.
I'm just gonna make the video.
So can you? Well, yeah, you did well with the lettering here. The same font as Dagon. You like that font? Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know if it is the same. Oh, I've gone through several edits on the Dagon, but it's not like the running writing one. But it's every word of the story. So Lovecraft is a little wordy, but I made it work. He's very wordy.
Yeah, wordy is, yeah.
So I haven't put my own spin on the story or anything. It's the legit story. So just illustrate it.
You're going to be offering art? I know normally, back then you used to do a lot of sketches, but how about pages? You gonna offer any pages from the book?
On the crowdfunding, yeah.
Okay.
And then for OAX, I'll bring, because I've never actually released pretty much all of the Dagon art I did, and this art, so I'll bring all that to OAX as well. Some of it's big, it's a little bigger than my regular normal stuff.
Yeah, you don't go 11 by 17 for a lot of it. Yeah, you work smaller.
Double page spreads definitely, but yeah, I usually work smaller because it's kind of faster, and I'm better at smaller. And I'm changing. I'm doing bigger now. But
okay, let's remove this. All right, that's great. So soonish, there'll be some art options. We'll let people know about it, obviously.
Oh yeah, and original art sketchbook versions, like book plate versions and stuff like that.
Are you gonna bother with a slipcase this time?
No, only because the printer I'm using now doesn't really do them.
Okay.
They cost as much as each book, really, unfortunately. But I'd like to with a local printer. Yeah.
Huh.
No more Chinese printing because it takes 3 months to get the books. And I like them in 2 weeks.
Estonia is good. I've got one in Lithuania.
Well, if they can do it quicker than 3 months, that's an interesting.
Yeah. No, I'll pass on the info. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm not uninterested. So.
Huh. Okay. And what else are you doing, Ben? Because you're always doing crazy stuff. Monthly themes. New books.
Deadline on a book I'm doing through Whatnot, technically called Crashdown, a 3-issue miniseries that I got to get out. That'll be in stores. And a lot of my own stuff. I got a new creator-owned thing I'm working on, and I have a whole bunch of finished projects I'm meant to actually get off my butt and send to Image. So they might be coming next year too.
To pitch to Image?
No, they're fully done books through my Patreon. So
okay.
Done.
Oh, and did you say?
Yeah,
they're going to Image though. Did you say?
Ideally, yeah.
And the creator-owned book.
Want me, so hopefully.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. The creator-owned book. Can I just make a few guesses, or will you say something?
Well, do you mean the current one I'm working on?
Is it historical?
No, no.
Is it? Does it have any sci-fi?
Yes.
Is it loosely autobiographical?
No.
Liar.
I'm not a cyborg as far as I know. So
sci-fi was good. I thought you were going to say no. That's really good. So modern. Future?
Sci-fi western.
Oh, okay.
With parallels to the old company towns and union busting and type stuff like that. A little bit.
Oh.
With a fair few tentacles and alien creatures thrown in. It's called Squid Spit.
It's called
Squid Spit.
Squid Spit.
Yeah, it's the name of the town.
Oh, the town. Okay, like Westwood. Squid Spit.
Squid Spit. It's a goofy, weird thing, but it ties into some other stuff I've done. So.
Australians, man.
We're weird. I'm sorry. We have to be. There's no one else around us. We're insular.
Oh no, that's great. Never change. Never change. Yeah. Yeah. Island. Ben, it's 5:40. Thank you for getting on. Well, it's early your time.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me, man.
Say hi
Yeah,
to
no,
Ash,
village.
please. She's
Hmm?
not coming. Yeah, she's not coming to
No.
Orlando.
No, she's got a full-time job now, so
Oh, good. Oh, good. You got her. Oh, good.
she's earning a living, sort of.
All right. I mean, do you want to talk about anything else? Are you good? You want to talk about that IKEA light and how much glare there is? Do you have a good view?
I'm sorry, I got to get the other main lights replaced.
You
They
know,
too dim anyway.
last time I checked, I remember there was like some big blow up, like someone in your building had died, or there was like some dead body.
Okay.
In
Yeah,
the
if you
street.
really
What
want
was
to know,
that
so
about?
in August, my next door neighbor decided to have a psychotic break and randomly murder someone else in the building. He walked into
It was random. It was
It was
random.
random. He walked into someone else's apartment. The door was ajar on the level below me, and stabbed the guy to death. And then he went back to the neighboring apartment, and hilarity ensued. And the cops eventually got him out. I had to be evacuated because it could have been a hostage shootout situation. Who knows? And
Wow.
yeah, he's in jail awaiting trial. Yeah, he's not getting bails, so he's not coming back.
I just for me to feel a little bit better personally, when you
It
say
wasn't me. It wasn't me. I'm innocent.
no, that I don't believe you about. I don't even ask. But when you say neighbor, was it quite literally same floor, next door? What's the proximity when you say
If
neighbor?
my door's here, then the wall's there because I'm at the end of a hallway. His door is right there. So like literally,
yeah,
2 steps and I'd be in his apartment if the door was
right. If your door was unlocked because Ash is so irresponsible when she goes out to work, you could be dead.
Maybe, but I've spoken to a forensic psychologist, and it's like anyone that he vaguely knows, and we helped him out with the cats once. We didn't know him, but he knew us by sight, so he wouldn't probably have attacked someone he knew in any sort of way. It had to be a random person.
I see.
Allegedly. I don't know.
That's a good theory.
But it could, Ash may have been one of the last people to see him before the murder, so she passed him in the hallway, apparently. So.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Yeah, fun times. That's called America. So.
With the awful question that you ask offline is like whether you got some good reference photos, right? You're always thinking
no,
huh?
Didn't get anything, didn't see anything. But
the police, the whole. I'm sure that was a giant fiasco with police everywhere and detectives and shoo. Sorry,
they didn't even need us as witnesses because we didn't see anything. So.
Well, again, say hi to Ash, Ben. I'm so glad you're coming.
No, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah. And I'll send you some info about the table too, because we're laying out the floor plan now.
Oh,
so
nice.
if there's some neighbor that you want and or don't want, hey,
Tony and Dan, Tony Moy and Dan Goval.
Oh, okay. Well, they'll definitely be next to it. We'll have Bud Pratt next to you too, so you can hear that dulcet Texas Beaumont voice. Yeah, there's a bunch of people. Yeah.
You got a lot of good people.
You don't need to be near Tony. Tony follows you around like a little puppy dog, man, and all the shows.
I love Tony. Tony's the master now. Tony's the master. He does great.
Tony awesome. Surpassed us all now. Yeah. Good for him. He's certainly earned it. All right, Ben. Thanks for coming on, bros. And I'll send you an email info. Okay.
Oh, please do. And thanks for having me. And hopefully see you guys there. And go get some food in the restroom.
Bye, Ben. Bye, Ben. Okay, great. Ben's coming. OAX, pre-OAX, Templesmith and Eric Grove. And I don't think I need to cover anything else. I've got images I can show. I don't even know who's in here. Who's in here? You guys have questions? You can pick like the truth or like horrible lies. I can answer those. Let me see. I can bring up. Dutulio, sure, anytime. After I'm off of this, I'm not kidding. I'm sleep deprived. 16 plus hour days, sleeping less than 5 hours a night for about 7-8 days in a row. But as soon as I'm done with this, I'm a free man. oh, I should just stop this. You guys got questions? It'd be great to answer them. No, we're good. We can just end the stream. So I'll Matt, just get a hold of me. If anyone has any questions, you guys can always contact me through the CAF gallery or the info app button or whatever you like. And I'll even give you my phone number as long as you don't share it. All right. Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming in. Sorry I couldn't pay attention to the chat. We didn't have much back-end support. We'll do better. See you guys later. Hey, Jeff.